Top 10 Bad Habits That Will Keep You Broke. Depending on how you were raised and how you've learned to treat money, you may have picked up some bad money habits over the years. That's completely normal, but if you don't recognize those habits and actively try to correct them, it could have a massive effect on your financial well-being in the future. That's why in this video, we'll be going over 10 common habits that could be having a huge effect on your wallet. 1. Spending more than you earn. You can never save a cent if you're spending more than you earn. That's obvious though, right? The problem is, a lot of people may not even realize that they're spending more than they earn. For example, they may have some good months where they save money and some bad months where they spend obscene amounts. Those bad months can cause huge setbacks. If you continue to spend more than you earn, you'll slowly rack up more and more debt, which means more interest payments and a cycle of dread. You definitely don't want that. 2. Using your credit cards wrong. Too many people treat their credit cards like free money or future money when they should be treating them like debit cards. I always like to say, if you can't buy it with cash, don't put it on a credit card. If you can buy it with cash, you'll always have enough to pay off your credit card in full every month, which means no debt and no interest. I still think credit cards are a great tool if used responsibly. 3. Trying to keep up with social standards. With everyone flaunting their material possessions and fancy vacations on social media these days, it can seem like if you don't have the latest and greatest new thing, you're somehow less than others. That's far from the truth. Trying to keep up with celebrities and even friends is a habit that can cause you a lot of problems financially. 4. Paying yourself last. If you're in the habit of waiting until the end of the month to see how much money you have left, you're probably not saving as much as you could be. Each time you get paid, you should be immediately taking money off your paycheck and saving it. One of the best ways to figure out how much to take off is by creating a budget. There are many different ways to budget, so figure out what works for you. Budgeting consistently is a great habit to get into. 5. Making impulse purchases. Impulse purchases are purchases that you make during a split-second decision. For whatever reason, you see something and you think, I need that right now. This is obviously a pretty dangerous habit to have, as a lot of impulse purchases only give temporary satisfaction. So, to curb this problem, I recommend waiting for 24 hours before making a purchase so you can really think it over and decide whether it's something you actually need or not. 6. Winging it. If you don't have any financial goals at the moment, you're basically winging it. Sure, it could work out and you could end up with great finances, but most likely, 10 or 20 years from now you'll be in a similar position to where you are now. If you want to really excel with your finances, you need to set realistic and solid goals to strive for. For example, if you want to buy a house in 10 years, create a savings goal for a down payment and contribute money to it every month. That would be an example of a long-term goal. Along with long-term goals, you should also set some short-term goals too in order to reward yourself and keep yourself motivated. 7. Only putting money in a savings account. If you're saving money, that's great. However, if you're storing it all in a savings account, you're actually slowly losing money due to inflation. What you should be doing is keeping some of that money in a high-interest savings account while putting the rest in investments. By investing your money you can earn a much greater return, and in 10 or 20 years you could have a small fortune. Here's the key though, make sure to keep your investing consistent, and if you can, make it automatic. 8. Passing up free money. Speaking of investing, if your company offers a 401k match, you need to start taking advantage of it immediately. If you don't, you'll literally be missing out on free money. Here's how. Let's say, for easy math, your salary is $100,000 and your company offers 100% matching on 5% of your salary. That means if you contribute $5,000 to your 401k in a year, your employer will also contribute $5,000. That's free money. 9. Not monitoring spending. If you're someone who has trouble with overspending, you should definitely be keeping track of each purchase that goes through your accounts. Even if you don't overspend, this is still a good habit to get into. Once you start tracking your spending consistently, you'll quickly notice any errors, bank fees, which you can potentially negotiate, and subscription services that you no longer use. You'll also think twice about every purchase you make. 10. Having a consumer mindset. Although I believe spending money on the things you love is totally worth it, some people only have a mindset of buy buy buy. If that's you, you need to also start thinking about how your money can be used to create even more money. Think about it like this: every time you spend $1, you're losing $1 that you could put towards investments or a side hustle. Once you start thinking like that, you'll put a lot more thought into every dollar you spend,